Jordan Peterson begins with an unexpected yet captivating example. Lobsters. These creatures, although vastly different from humans, share an essential feature with us: a deep-seated biological drive for status and territory. Peterson explains how lobsters, with their simple nervous systems, engage in territorial disputes. When two lobsters fight over a prime piece of ocean floor, the outcome is not just physical but chemical. The victorious lobster experiences a surge of serotonin, making it stand taller and appear more dominant, while the defeated lobster shrinks into submission. This dynamic is critical for their survival in a competitive and often dangerous environment. Peterson draws an insightful parallel between lobsters and humans. Just like lobsters, humans also live in complex social hierarchies where status, posture, and attitude matter. When a person slouches, avoids eye contact, or withdraws, they signal submission, vulnerability, and lack of confidence to those around them. This posture not only influences how others treat them but also affects their own mental state. A defeated stance can reinforce feelings of inadequacy, trapping individuals in a cycle of low self-esteem and diminished opportunity. Conversely, adopting a confident and upright posture has the opposite effect. Standing tall with your shoulders back signals competence, strength, and readiness. Peterson highlights how this physical stance does more than just change how others perceive you. It also reshapes your internal state. The body and mind are interconnected, and by deliberately adjusting your posture, you can initiate a positive feedback loop. People who stand tall exude authority and self-assurance, often leading to better social interactions, increased respect from others, and ultimately, a more optimistic self-view. Peterson elaborates that adopting this posture is not merely about physical appearance or superficial confidence. It's a way of taking responsibility for your life. By standing up straight, you're telling yourself and the world that you are ready to confront the challenges of existence. This act of standing tall becomes symbolic of embracing responsibility, a central theme in Peterson's philosophy. Life is inherently challenging and filled with suffering, but by facing it with a strong stance, both physically and metaphorically, you assert your capacity to rise above it. This principle becomes especially relevant for those who feel defeated or stuck in a cycle of failure. Peterson acknowledges that changing your posture can feel unnatural, particularly if life has handed you significant setbacks. However, he insists that this small, tangible step can be the start of significant transformation. Standing up straight is not about pretending life is perfect or ignoring your struggles. It's about choosing to face them head-on, with dignity and determination. The connection between posture and hierarchy extends beyond the individual. Societies, organizations, and even families operate within hierarchical structures. How you carry yourself influences your place within these structures. A confident posture communicates that you are capable of contributing, leading, or taking responsibility, while a slouched demeanor can suggest the opposite. This dynamic affects not only your personal life, but also your professional and social interactions. Peterson draws from both biology and psychology to emphasize the transformative power of standing up straight. He explains how our brains are wired to respond to body language. When you project confidence through your posture, you are not only signaling to others, but also to yourself that you are worthy of respect and capable of facing life's challenges. Over time, this change in perception can lead to real improvements in how you navigate the world. By adopting the habit of standing tall, you align your body with your aspirations. It's a physical manifestation of your decision to rise above defeat and pursue a life of responsibility and meaning. The first rule is not just about how you stand, it's about how you choose to live. With shoulders back and head held high, you signal to the world and to yourself that you are ready to engage with life's complexities and take on its inevitable challenges. In doing so, you take the first step toward a life that is richer, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. Jordan Peterson opens this chapter with an intriguing observation about human behavior. Many people take better care of others than they do of themselves. The author uses a compelling example to illustrate this point. People are more likely to fill a prescription for their pets than for themselves. Despite their ability to recognize the needs of others, individuals often neglect their own well-being, failing to prioritize their physical, mental, and emotional health. Peterson explores the underlying reasons for this paradox. At its core, he argues, is a profound sense of unworthiness. Many people struggle to view themselves as deserving of care, often burdened by guilt, shame, or feelings of inadequacy. They see their own flaws and mistakes as evidence that they are less deserving of compassion and attention than others. This mindset creates a damaging cycle of self-neglect, which only reinforces their low sense of self-worth. The author draws upon biblical and mythological narratives to highlight the deeper psychological and philosophical roots of this issue. He reflects on the concept of original sin, noting that humanity has long wrestled with the idea of its inherent imperfection. While this acknowledgement of human fallibility is important, Peterson argues that it should not lead to self-condemnation. Instead, it should inspire individuals to take responsibility for their own well-being, just as they would for someone they love and care about. Peterson's solution is simple yet profound. Treat yourself as you would treat someone you are responsible for helping. He emphasizes that this is not a call for indulgence or selfishness, but rather an invitation to adopt a compassionate, nurturing perspective toward oneself. Just as you would take the time to ensure that a loved one eats nutritious food, exercises, rests, and seeks medical care, you should extend the same effort and care to your own life. The author argues that this mindset shift is not only beneficial for the individual but also for those around them. Neglecting your health, goals, or responsibilities does not just affect you. It impacts your ability to contribute meaningfully to your relationships, work, and community. By taking care of yourself, you enhance your capacity to support and uplift others. To make this principle practical, Peterson suggests starting with small, manageable actions. Identify areas of your life that need attention, whether it's improving your diet, exercising regularly, or setting aside time for rest and reflection. Approach these changes with the same care and patience you would show to someone else. Remember that progress takes time, and setbacks are a natural part of the process. Peterson also emphasizes the importance of self-respect in this equation. Treating yourself well is a form of acknowledging your own value and worthiness. He challenges the listener to consider, if you believe that life is sacred and that each person has inherent value, why would you exclude yourself from that belief? By accepting your own humanity and inherent dignity, you create a foundation for self-care and self-improvement. Throughout the chapter, Peterson weaves in personal anecdotes and examples from his clinical practice. He describes clients who struggled with self-neglect and how they transformed their lives by adopting this principle. For instance, he recounts stories of individuals who began to take their health seriously or who made deliberate efforts to organize their lives. These seemingly small steps often led to significant improvements, not just in their own well-being but also in their relationships and careers. Peterson underscores that taking responsibility for yourself is not just a personal act. It is a moral obligation. When you fail to care for yourself, you not only diminish your own potential but also limit your ability to positively impact the world around you. Treating yourself like someone you are responsible for helping is a way to align your actions with your values and to live a life of integrity and purpose. In essence, Rule 2 is a call to balance humility with self-respect, recognizing your own needs without losing sight of your responsibilities to others. By adopting this perspective, you not only improve your quality of life but also set an example for those around you, contributing to a better and more compassionate world. In Rule 3, Jordan Peterson emphasizes the profound influence that relationships have on an individual's life. He suggests that the people we surround ourselves with can either uplift us or drag us down, often determining the trajectory of our future. This rule invites reflection on the nature of friendship and the importance of choosing companions who genuinely want the best for you. Peterson begins by pointing out that some friendships are not founded on mutual growth or shared aspirations, but rather on shared misery or stagnation. People often bond over unhealthy habits, mutual self-pity, or avoidance of responsibility. While these connections may feel comforting in the short term, they often hinder progress and reinforce destructive patterns. He cautions against staying in relationships where one party repeatedly sabotages the other's potential for growth, whether through jealousy, manipulation, or lack of encouragement. The chapter includes poignant examples of people caught in toxic friendships. Peterson shares a story from his clinical practice about a client who struggled to break free from a destructive social circle. This client found themselves surrounded by individuals who encouraged harmful behaviors, such as substance abuse, and discouraged any effort towards self-improvement. Only after leaving these friendships behind was the client able to make meaningful progress in their life. These examples highlight the importance of identifying relationships that drain energy and inhibit personal growth. Peterson also explores the psychological reasons people remain in harmful relationships. Often, individuals fear being alone or feel obligated to maintain connections out of guilt or loyalty, even when those relationships are no longer healthy. He argues that while it's important to support others, it's equally important to set boundaries and recognize when a relationship has become one-sided or damaging. True friends, Peterson asserts, want to see you succeed. They celebrate your accomplishments, encourage you during difficult times, and challenge you to become a better version of yourself. He describes the value of surrounding yourself with people who inspire and motivate you, rather than those who are content to keep you stagnant or pull you into negativity. These are the relationships that foster resilience, confidence, and personal growth. This rule also emphasizes the reciprocal nature of healthy friendships. It's not just about finding people who want the best for you, but also being the kind of friend who wants the best for others. Peterson stresses the importance of honesty and mutual respect in friendships. A good friend is someone who is willing to have difficult conversations, offer constructive criticism, and hold you accountable, all while providing support and encouragement. To implement this rule, Peterson suggests reflecting on your current relationships and asking yourself whether they align with your values and goals. Are the people in your life helping you grow, or are they holding you back? This reflection may lead to difficult but necessary decisions, such as distancing yourself from toxic influences or seeking out new connections with people who share your aspirations. Peterson acknowledges that letting go of harmful relationships can be painful, but it is a necessary step toward building a better future. He also encourages seeking friendships with individuals who have qualities you admire or who embody the kind of life you aspire to lead. These relationships can serve as a source of inspiration and guidance as you work toward your goals. Rule 3 is ultimately a call to take responsibility for the company you keep. By surrounding yourself with people who genuinely want the best for you, you create an environment that supports your growth and success. This doesn't mean abandoning others without cause, but rather prioritizing relationships that are based on mutual respect, encouragement, and a shared commitment to betterment. In doing so, you not only enhance your own life, but also create a foundation for meaningful and lasting connections. In Rule 4, Jordan Peterson offers a profound insight into the pitfalls of constant comparison with others. He argues that measuring your success or self-worth against others is inherently flawed and often destructive, as it overlooks individual differences, circumstances, and goals. Instead, he urges readers to focus on incremental personal improvement, comparing themselves only to who they were in the past. Peterson begins by acknowledging that humans are naturally competitive and tend to gauge their progress by observing those around them. This instinct, while useful in certain contexts, can easily lead to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and despair, particularly in a world where social media often highlights curated, unrealistic depictions of others' lives. These comparisons can skew perspectives and make people feel like they are perpetually falling short, regardless of their actual achievements or progress. He explains that comparing yourself to others is inherently unfair because no two people are on the same journey. Everyone faces unique challenges, advantages, and circumstances that shape their trajectory. For instance, one person may have access to resources or support systems that another lacks, making their progress appear faster or easier. Peterson stresses that such differences mean comparisons are not only unhelpful but also misleading. Instead of fixating on others, he suggests focusing on self-reflection and setting personal goals tailored to your own situation. A key theme in this chapter is the idea of incremental progress. Peterson likens personal development to cleaning your room or organizing your life, one small step at a time. He emphasizes the importance of setting realistic, achievable goals that are slightly beyond your current capabilities. By striving to improve just a little each day, you create a sustainable path toward growth and avoid the overwhelming pressure of trying to achieve massive changes all at once. The chapter includes powerful examples to illustrate this concept. Peterson recounts stories from his clinical practice where clients made significant improvements by adopting this principle. One client, overwhelmed by the chaos in their life, began by making their bed every morning. This simple act of order became a foundation for tackling larger challenges over time. Another client, struggling with fitness, started with short daily walks and gradually built up to a regular exercise routine. These small, manageable changes accumulated into meaningful transformation, providing a sense of accomplishment and momentum. Peterson also highlights the importance of gratitude and self-compassion in this process. He advises readers to recognize and celebrate their progress, no matter how small. By acknowledging the steps you've taken, you reinforce a positive feedback loop that encourages further growth. It's not about achieving perfection overnight, but about making consistent, meaningful progress. This rule is also closely tied to the concept of responsibility. Peterson argues that by focusing on your own improvement, you take control of your life and its direction. Comparing yourself to others, on the other hand, relinquishes that control as you become overly concerned with external validation or societal standards that may not align with your values or goals. Personal growth, he insists, is a deeply individual process, and only you can define what success looks like in your life. Peterson acknowledges that this approach can be challenging, particularly in a culture that prizes competition and external achievements. However, he insists that it is the most effective way to cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment. When you compare yourself to who you were yesterday, you are more likely to see tangible progress, which fosters confidence and motivation. The chapter concludes with a call to embrace the journey of self-improvement as an ongoing, lifelong process. Peterson reminds readers that perfection is an unattainable goal and that growth is a continuous endeavor. By focusing on small, consistent improvements and measuring your progress against your past self, you create a framework for a meaningful and fulfilling life. Ultimately, this rule is about reclaiming your sense of agency and celebrating your unique journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. In Rule 5, Jordan Peterson addresses the importance of raising children with discipline, structure, and guidance. He asserts that it is the responsibility of parents to shape their children into individuals who can successfully navigate society and build healthy relationships. The rule emphasizes that allowing children to behave in ways that provoke negative feelings, both in their parents and in others, sets them up for failure and isolation later in life. Peterson begins by explaining that children are naturally impulsive and self-centered, qualities that are developmentally appropriate but require guidance to manage. Without proper correction, these behaviors can solidify into patterns that lead to rejection by peers and authority figures. He argues that discipline is not about control for its own sake, but about teaching children how to function in the world. A child who is allowed to behave rudely, aggressively, or selfishly may struggle to form friendships, excel in school, or later integrate into the workplace. The chapter highlights the deep social implications of unchecked behavior. Peterson notes that while parents may tolerate their child's disruptive actions out of love or indulgence, the rest of the world will not. A child who frequently interrupts, throws tantrums, or refuses to share may face rejection and criticism, leaving them isolated and resentful. By failing to teach children the boundaries of acceptable behavior, parents inadvertently set them up for a lifetime of unnecessary struggle. Peterson provides vivid examples to illustrate the long-term consequences of poor discipline. He recounts stories of children who were never taught how to respect rules or authority, leading to difficulties in adolescence and adulthood. One story involves a young boy who was allowed to hit others without consequence. While his parents dismissed it as harmless, his peers avoided him, and teachers viewed him as a troublemaker. These patterns compounded over time, making it increasingly difficult for the boy to build trust or positive relationships. The author stresses that discipline, while often misunderstood, is an act of love. Setting boundaries and enforcing rules provides children with a sense of security and teaches them how to interact constructively with others. Peterson draws on his clinical experience to demonstrate that children thrive when they understand the expectations placed upon them. They feel safer knowing that their parents are capable of providing structure and correcting behavior that could lead to negative outcomes. One of the key challenges Peterson addresses is the fear many parents have of upsetting their children. Parents often avoid setting limits because they fear being disliked or causing emotional distress. Peterson counters that temporary frustration or anger is a small price to pay for long-term benefits. He explains that when parents fail to intervene, they are not sparing their children discomfort but rather deferring it, often magnified, to a later time when the stakes are much higher. The chapter offers practical advice for implementing discipline effectively. Peterson emphasizes the importance of consistency and clarity. Children need to know what is expected of them and what the consequences will be if those expectations are not met. He advises against overly harsh punishment, which can lead to resentment and rebellion, but advocates for firm and fair correction that is proportional to the behavior. For example, a child who refuses to clean up their toys might lose the privilege of playing with them the next day. Peterson also addresses the need for parents to model the behavior they wish to see in their children. Children learn by example, and parents who demonstrate self-control, respect, and responsibility are more likely to instill these values in their offspring. He encourages parents to reflect on their own behavior and consider how it might influence their children's development. The rule concludes with a reflection on the broader implications of parenting. Peterson argues that raising disciplined, well-adjusted children is not only a gift to the child but also a contribution to society. Children who are taught to behave responsibly grow into adults who can engage constructively with the world, reducing conflict and fostering cooperation. Parenting, therefore, is a moral responsibility that extends beyond the family unit. Ultimately, Rule 5 underscores the importance of balancing love with discipline, recognizing that teaching children to navigate the complexities of life is one of the most profound and lasting acts of care a parent can provide. In Rule 6, Jordan Peterson explores the concept of personal responsibility and the need to address one's own shortcomings before attempting to reform the broader world. This rule serves as a call to action for individuals to confront the chaos in their personal lives and make meaningful changes before turning their attention outward. By setting your house in order, you prepare yourself to engage with the world from a place of integrity and competence. Peterson begins with a stark acknowledgement of life's inherent suffering and chaos. He highlights that tragedy and hardship are inevitable parts of the human experience, often leading individuals to feelings of resentment, anger, or even nihilism. In response to these challenges, many people look outward, seeking to blame external forces, society, government, or others for their misfortunes. While some external factors undoubtedly contribute to hardship, Peterson argues that meaningful change must begin within. Drawing on historical and literary examples, Peterson illustrates the dangers of projecting blame outward without addressing personal accountability. He references the stories of individuals who succumbed to bitterness and vengeance, often with devastating consequences for themselves and those around them. This, he argues, is the path of destruction, not only for the individual but also for society. One of the chapter's most poignant examples is Peterson's discussion of mass shooters and other perpetrators of atrocities. These individuals, he observes, often harbor deep resentment against life and humanity. They see themselves as victims of an unjust world, and rather than taking responsibility for their own lives, they lash out destructively. While extreme, these examples underscore the broader principle that unchecked resentment and external blame can lead to devastating consequences. Peterson contrasts this with stories of individuals who faced immense suffering but chose a different path. He draws inspiration from figures such as Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl, despite enduring unimaginable suffering, found meaning through personal responsibility and a refusal to succumb to despair. His story demonstrates the profound power of taking ownership of one's response to adversity. The concept of setting your house in perfect order is not about achieving perfection in an absolute sense. Rather, it is about taking stock of your life and addressing the aspects within your control. Peterson encourages readers to reflect on their habits, relationships, and responsibilities. Are there areas where you are neglectful, dishonest, or irresponsible? By identifying and addressing these issues, you begin to create a foundation for personal growth and stability. Peterson emphasizes that this process requires honesty and humility. It is not easy to confront your own faults or acknowledge the ways in which you have contributed to your own difficulties. However, doing so is essential for meaningful change. He suggests starting small, perhaps by tidying your living space, organizing your schedule, or addressing a lingering conflict in a relationship. These seemingly simple actions can have a profound ripple effect, fostering a sense of agency and progress. An important theme in this chapter is the idea that personal responsibility is empowering. When you take ownership of your life, you reclaim your ability to influence your circumstances. This is a stark contrast to the victim mentality, which leaves individuals feeling powerless and dependent on external forces for change. By setting your house in order, you cultivate resilience and the capacity to face life's challenges with strength and determination. Peterson also cautions against using the imperfections of the world as an excuse for inaction. While it is true that society is flawed and filled with injustice, this does not absolve individuals of the responsibility to improve their own lives. He argues that attempting to fix the world without first addressing your own chaos is not only ineffective but also hypocritical. True change, he insists, begins with the individual. The rule concludes with a reflection on the broader implications of personal order. When individuals take responsibility for their own lives, they contribute to the collective well-being of society. A world where more people act with integrity, discipline, and accountability is a world with less chaos and more harmony. By setting your house in perfect order, you not only improve your own life but also become a force for positive change in the world. Rule 6 is a profound reminder that meaningful change starts from within. It challenges readers to confront their own chaos, take responsibility for their lives, and build a solid foundation from which they can engage with the world. In doing so, they not only improve their personal circumstances but also set an example for others, contributing to a more just and ordered society. In Rule 7, Jordan Peterson delves into one of life's most profound questions: how to live in a way that provides purpose and fulfillment. He argues that individuals should strive for meaning, which requires sacrifice, responsibility, and the courage to confront challenges, rather than chasing short-term gratification or expedient solutions. Meaning, he asserts, is the antidote to life's suffering and chaos. Peterson begins by acknowledging the harsh realities of life. Suffering is inevitable, and chaos is a constant presence. Many people attempt to escape these challenges by seeking temporary relief through pleasures or avoidance strategies. While expedient actions may offer fleeting comfort, they fail to provide lasting satisfaction or a sense of purpose. In fact, they often lead to deeper dissatisfaction and despair. For Peterson, the pursuit of meaning is the only path that offers enduring value and resilience in the face of life's hardships. A central theme of the chapter is the necessity of sacrifice in the pursuit of meaning. Drawing on historical and mythological narratives, Peterson explains how sacrifice has been a cornerstone of human civilization. Ancient societies understood that deferring immediate gratification for a greater good was essential for survival and progress. Whether through religious rituals, personal commitments, or acts of discipline, sacrifice represents a willingness to forgo short-term rewards in exchange for long-term benefit. Peterson provides examples from mythology to illustrate this point. He discusses the story of Cain and Abel, a biblical tale that contrasts two approaches to sacrifice. Abel offers the best of what he has to God, demonstrating humility and faith in the future. Cain, on the other hand, offers a lesser sacrifice, motivated by resentment and expediency. When Cain's offering is rejected, he lashes out in anger, ultimately committing murder. This story, Peterson argues, reflects the consequences of choosing expedience over meaningful action. It is a cautionary tale about the dangers of resentment and the importance of making sacrifices that align with higher values. The pursuit of meaning, according to Peterson, requires taking responsibility for oneself and the world. This involves confronting life's challenges with honesty and integrity, even when it is difficult. Meaningful goals often demand effort, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncertainty. However, these sacrifices are worthwhile because they provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment that temporary pleasures cannot match. Peterson shares examples from his clinical practice to demonstrate the transformative power of meaning. He recounts the story of a client who felt trapped in a dead-end job and a chaotic personal life. By encouraging this client to take responsibility for small aspects of their situation and set meaningful goals, Peterson helped them regain a sense of control and purpose. Over time, this individual's life improved, not because their circumstances radically changed, but because their perspective and actions became aligned with a meaningful pursuit. One of the most striking aspects of this rule is Peterson's emphasis on the moral dimension of meaning. He argues that pursuing meaning is not just a personal endeavor but also a contribution to the greater good. By striving to improve yourself and take responsibility, you become a force for positive change in your family, community, and society. This ripple effect underscores the interconnectedness of individual actions and collective well-being. Peterson contrasts the pursuit of meaning with the dangers of nihilism and despair. He warns that when individuals reject meaning, they often turn to ideologies, addictions, or other forms of escapism to fill the void. These substitutes may offer the illusion of purpose but ultimately lead to disillusionment and suffering. True meaning, he insists, arises from engaging with life's complexities and embracing the responsibilities that come with it. The chapter concludes with a call to action. Choose a path that aligns with your values, even if it is difficult. Identify what is meaningful to you and pursue it with commitment and courage. This may involve sacrifices, but those sacrifices are what give life its richness and depth. By pursuing meaning over expedience, you create a life that not only withstands suffering, but also transforms it into something purposeful and profound. Rule 7 is a reminder that meaning is not something that happens to you. It is something you actively create through your choices and actions. It challenges readers to rise above short-term pleasures and to confront life's difficulties with a sense of purpose, knowing that the pursuit of meaning is the ultimate reward. In Rule 8, Jordan Peterson emphasizes the transformative power of truth and the destructive consequences of deceit. He argues that telling the truth, or at least avoiding deliberate falsehoods, is essential for personal integrity, meaningful relationships, and navigating life's complexities. While the truth can be uncomfortable and difficult, it is a necessary foundation for growth and authenticity. Peterson begins by examining the nature of lying and why people are tempted to lie. Lies are often told to avoid conflict, protect oneself, or manipulate others. However, Peterson points out that while lies may provide immediate relief, they create long-term problems. Every lie builds a fragile and false reality, requiring more lies to sustain it. Over time, this web of deceit becomes untenable, leading to chaos, betrayal, and suffering. Drawing from his clinical experience, Peterson shares stories of clients whose lives unraveled due to dishonesty. He recounts the story of a man who lied to his wife about financial issues, hoping to spare her worry. Over time, these lies compounded, leading to a complete breakdown of trust in their marriage when the truth inevitably emerged. This example highlights how even lies told with good intentions can have devastating consequences. Peterson contrasts this with the liberating power of truth. He acknowledges that telling the truth can be painful, especially when it exposes flaws, mistakes, or uncomfortable realities. However, he argues that truth provides a solid foundation upon which to build a meaningful life. When you tell the truth, you align your words and actions with reality, creating clarity and trust. This alignment fosters personal integrity and strengthens relationships, as others can rely on you to be honest and dependable. A key theme in this chapter is the relationship between truth and responsibility. Peterson explains that telling the truth requires courage and a willingness to confront life's difficulties. By avoiding lies, you take responsibility for your actions and their consequences, even when it's challenging. This responsibility is not just about personal ethics but also about contributing to the greater good. Lies corrode the fabric of society, while truth upholds it. Peterson also explores the psychological impact of dishonesty on the individual. He describes how lying creates internal conflict and anxiety, as the person must constantly maintain and defend the falsehood. This cognitive dissonance takes a toll on mental health and erodes self-respect. In contrast, truth-telling fosters peace of mind and a sense of authenticity. By being truthful, you free yourself from the burden of deceit and live in harmony with your values. One of the most striking aspects of this rule is Peterson's assertion that truth is not always black and white. There are situations where the full truth may be too complex, harsh, or unnecessary to articulate. In such cases, Peterson advises avoiding lies rather than forcing absolute honesty. He acknowledges that life is nuanced and that navigating truth requires wisdom and discernment. Peterson provides practical advice for incorporating truth into daily life. Start by paying attention to the lies you tell, even small ones, and reflect on why you feel compelled to lie. Are you avoiding confrontation, seeking approval, or trying to manipulate a situation? By understanding the motivations behind your dishonesty, you can begin to replace it with truthful behavior. Peterson suggests practicing radical honesty in small, manageable ways, such as admitting when you don't know something or expressing your genuine thoughts and feelings. The chapter concludes with a reflection on the broader implications of truth-telling. Peterson argues that a commitment to truth is essential for building a meaningful and fulfilling life. Lies, no matter how small, erode trust and create instability, both internally and externally. By choosing truth, you create a foundation of integrity, authenticity, and resilience. This commitment not only benefits you but also sets an example for others, contributing to a more honest and constructive society. Rule 8 is a powerful reminder that truth, while challenging, is essential for personal growth and meaningful relationships. It encourages readers to embrace honesty, confront life's complexities, and live authentically. By telling the truth, or at least avoiding lies, you create a life that is grounded in reality and aligned with your values. In Rule 9, Jordan Peterson highlights the critical importance of genuine listening and the role it plays in learning, communication, and building meaningful relationships. This rule challenges readers to approach conversations with humility and curiosity, acknowledging that everyone has experiences, perspectives, and insights that may offer valuable lessons. Peterson begins by examining the reasons people struggle to listen effectively. Many individuals approach conversations with preconceived notions, focusing on how they can assert their views rather than understanding the other person. This tendency to prioritize speaking over listening often leads to shallow interactions, misunderstandings, and missed opportunities for learning. Peterson argues that true listening requires setting aside your ego and being willing to consider that the person you're speaking with might possess knowledge or perspectives that could broaden your understanding. The chapter emphasizes the importance of humility in listening. Peterson explains that no one knows everything and that life is too complex for any individual to have all the answers. By assuming that the other person has something to teach you, you open yourself to new ideas and insights. This mindset not only enriches your understanding but also fosters a deeper connection with others, as people feel valued when their thoughts and experiences are genuinely heard. Peterson uses examples from his clinical practice to illustrate the transformative power of listening. As a psychologist, his primary role is not to provide solutions but to help clients articulate their thoughts and feelings. He describes how simply listening, without judgment or interruption, often enables people to untangle their own problems and find clarity. For instance, a client struggling with a difficult decision might discover the best course of action by speaking freely and organizing their thoughts aloud. Peterson highlights that by listening attentively, you create a space where others can explore and refine their ideas. The chapter also delves into the psychological benefits of listening. When you listen with genuine interest, you demonstrate respect and empathy, which strengthens relationships and builds trust. Peterson notes that listening is not passive but an active process that requires concentration, patience, and a willingness to engage with the other person's perspective. This effort pays off by deepening understanding and fostering mutual respect. One of the key themes of this rule is the idea that dialogue is a collaborative process. Peterson describes conversations as an opportunity for both parties to explore ideas, challenge assumptions, and arrive at a deeper truth. He stresses that listening is not about winning an argument or proving your point, but about seeking understanding and growth. By approaching conversations as a shared journey of discovery, you create the potential for meaningful exchange and mutual enlightenment. Peterson also addresses the challenges of listening, particularly when faced with viewpoints that contradict your own. He acknowledges that it can be difficult to remain open-minded in such situations, but argues that this is precisely when listening is most valuable. By engaging with opposing perspectives, you test the validity of your own beliefs and expand your intellectual horizons. Even if you ultimately disagree, you gain a better understanding of the other person's reasoning and motivations. The chapter offers practical advice for improving your listening skills. Peterson suggests practicing active listening by focusing entirely on the speaker, asking clarifying questions, and paraphrasing their points to ensure understanding. He also advises resisting the urge to interrupt or formulate responses while the other person is speaking. Instead, concentrate on fully absorbing their message before offering your thoughts. Peterson concludes by reflecting on the broader implications of listening. He argues that assuming others have something valuable to say is not just a practical strategy but a moral one. It demonstrates respect for the inherent worth and dignity of others and fosters a culture of openness and collaboration. By listening attentively, you contribute to a world where dialogue, understanding, and mutual respect are prioritized over division and conflict. Rule 9 is a profound reminder of the power of listening. It encourages readers to approach conversations with humility, curiosity, and a genuine desire to learn. By assuming that others might know something you don't, you not only enrich your own understanding but also build stronger, more meaningful connections with the people around you. In Rule 10, Jordan Peterson underscores the importance of clarity and precision in communication, not only with others but also with oneself. He argues that imprecise speech reflects and perpetuates unclear thinking, leading to confusion, misunderstandings, and unresolved problems. To live effectively and truthfully, one must articulate thoughts clearly and honestly, regardless of how difficult or uncomfortable that may be. Peterson begins by exploring the consequences of vague or ambiguous speech. When people fail to clearly express their thoughts, desires, or concerns, they leave room for misinterpretation and conflict. For example, in relationships, unclear communication often leads to resentment or unmet expectations, as neither party fully understands the other's needs or intentions. Precision, on the other hand, fosters understanding, accountability, and the ability to address issues constructively. A key theme in this chapter is the relationship between language and reality. Peterson asserts that language is a tool humans use to structure the chaotic world around them. When you name something accurately, you bring it into focus and make it manageable. For instance, identifying a specific problem, whether it's a health issue, a workplace conflict, or a personal struggle, allows you to confront it directly. By being precise, you transform the vague and overwhelming into something concrete and solvable. Peterson illustrates this point with an example from his clinical practice. He describes a client who felt an undefined sense of dread and anxiety but could not pinpoint its source. Through guided conversation, they identified the root of these feelings: fear of an upcoming career decision. Once the problem was articulated clearly, the client was able to devise a plan to address it. This process highlights how naming and confronting issues, no matter how uncomfortable, leads to clarity and progress. Another aspect of precision in speech is its role in truth-telling. Peterson argues that being imprecise often stems from a fear of conflict or discomfort. People avoid difficult conversations or gloss over inconvenient truths to maintain harmony or protect themselves from vulnerability. However, this avoidance creates bigger problems in the long run. Lies of omission or distortion accumulate, leading to greater chaos and mistrust. By speaking precisely, even about uncomfortable topics, you align yourself with truth and reality, fostering integrity and trust in your relationships. Peterson also explores the role of precision in personal growth. He emphasizes that individuals must be honest and precise when confronting their own thoughts and feelings. Many people avoid examining their fears, desires, or failures, allowing these aspects of their lives to remain murky and unaddressed. This avoidance perpetuates confusion and prevents growth. By articulating your thoughts clearly, even to yourself, you gain insight and the ability to make deliberate, meaningful changes. The chapter addresses the practical challenges of being precise in speech. Peterson acknowledges that clarity requires effort and courage, particularly in emotionally charged situations. It can be tempting to use vague language to avoid offending others or exposing oneself to criticism. However, he insists that this short-term avoidance undermines long-term understanding and progress. Precision demands honesty and vulnerability, but it also builds stronger, more authentic connections. Peterson provides practical advice for developing precision in speech. Start by paying attention to your language and identifying instances where you may be vague or evasive. Practice articulating your thoughts clearly, focusing on specific details and avoiding generalizations. In conversations, make an effort to listen carefully and ask for clarification if something is unclear. These habits not only improve your communication but also enhance your ability to think critically and solve problems effectively. The chapter concludes with a reflection on the transformative power of precise speech. Peterson argues that clarity is a form of empowerment. By being precise, you take control of your life, confront challenges head-on, and build relationships based on honesty and understanding. Precision in speech is not just a tool for effective communication. It is a practice of integrity and truthfulness that enriches every aspect of life. Rule 10 is a powerful reminder of the connection between language, thought, and action. It encourages readers to confront ambiguity, speak honestly, and articulate their thoughts with care and precision. In doing so, they bring order to chaos, foster understanding, and create a foundation for meaningful change and connection. And Rule 11, Jordan Peterson explores the importance of risk-taking and resilience, particularly during the formative years of childhood and adolescence. He argues that allowing children to engage in challenging and even dangerous activities is essential for their development into confident, capable, and independent adults. Overprotection, on the other hand, stifles growth and fosters dependence, fear, and fragility. Peterson begins by recounting scenes of children skateboarding in public spaces, observing their daring and often reckless behavior. While such activities may seem foolish or unnecessarily risky, he highlights their deeper purpose: the cultivation of courage, competence, and resilience. Children instinctively seek out challenges that test their limits, learning from the physical and mental struggles they encounter. By doing so, they develop the skills and confidence needed to navigate the complexities of life. The chapter critiques the modern tendency toward overprotection and risk aversion, particularly in parenting and education. Peterson notes that many parents, driven by good intentions, seek to shield their children from all potential harm. This often manifests in excessively safe playgrounds, overly cautious supervision, and a general discouragement of risky activities. While such measures may reduce immediate dangers, Peterson argues that they also deprive children of essential learning experiences. He explains that life is inherently risky and unpredictable. Protecting children from every possible danger may provide temporary comfort, but it leaves them ill-equipped to handle real-world challenges. Overprotected children often grow into anxious, insecure adults who struggle with adversity and fear taking initiative. Peterson suggests that small, manageable risks during childhood serve as practice for the larger, unavoidable risks of adulthood. Peterson supports his argument with insights from evolutionary biology and psychology. He explains that humans are adapted to confront and overcome challenges, and that this process is essential for growth. By engaging in risky activities, children learn to assess danger, develop strategies for coping with uncertainty, and build the confidence to face new challenges. These lessons cannot be taught in theory. They must be experienced firsthand. One of the chapter's central themes is the balance between order and chaos. Peterson argues that allowing children to explore and take risks is a way of introducing them to controlled chaos. This balance is crucial for healthy development, as it teaches children to navigate the unpredictable and complex nature of life. Overprotection, by contrast, creates an environment of excessive order that leaves no room for experimentation, learning, or growth. Peterson also reflects on the societal implications of risk aversion. He critiques modern trends that prioritize safety and equality at the expense of individual freedom and excellence. For instance, he discusses the backlash against skateboarding and similar activities, noting that such restrictions often stem from a desire to impose order and eliminate perceived dangers. However, these measures also suppress creativity, ambition, and the human drive to push boundaries. The chapter includes vivid examples of individuals who thrive by embracing challenges and risks. Peterson points to innovators, athletes, and entrepreneurs who achieved greatness precisely because they were willing to take risks and face failure. He contrasts this with stories of people who avoided risk, leading to stagnation and dissatisfaction. These examples underscore the idea that risk is not just a source of danger but also a pathway to growth and fulfillment. Peterson advises against unnecessary interference in the lives of children, especially when they are engaged in activities that help them develop competence and confidence. While it is important to ensure their safety, it is equally important to allow them the freedom to explore, experiment, and learn from their mistakes. Parents and educators must strike a balance between guidance and autonomy, providing support without stifling independence. The rule concludes with a broader reflection on the role of risk in human development. Peterson argues that the willingness to confront danger and uncertainty is a fundamental aspect of living a meaningful and fulfilling life. By encouraging children to take risks, and by refraining from excessive interference, we prepare them to face the challenges of adulthood with courage and resilience. Rule 11 is a compelling reminder of the value of risk-taking and the dangers of overprotection. It challenges readers to embrace the unpredictable nature of life and to support others, particularly children, in their journey toward independence and self-reliance. In Rule 12, Jordan Peterson offers a reflective and deeply personal exploration of how to find moments of beauty and solace amid life's suffering. This rule serves as a reminder to pay attention to small, fleeting joys, even in the midst of hardship, as they can provide the strength and perspective needed to endure. Peterson begins by acknowledging the inevitability of suffering in life. Pain, loss, and tragedy are universal human experiences, and no one is immune to them. He recounts the struggles his own family faced, particularly his daughter's severe lifelong illness. The challenges of watching a loved one endure chronic pain and uncertainty brought the weight of suffering into sharp focus for him. This experience shaped his understanding of how to cope with the harsh realities of existence. In the face of such profound suffering, Peterson emphasizes the importance of finding small moments of respite and gratitude. These moments, he explains, often come in unexpected forms. A kind gesture, a beautiful sunset, or, as the rule suggests, encountering a friendly cat on the street. Such moments remind us that, even in the darkest times, there are fragments of beauty and goodness that can provide comfort and perspective. Peterson uses the metaphor of petting a cat to illustrate the practice of noticing and appreciating life's simple pleasures. He describes how, during particularly difficult periods, he found solace in small acts of attention and care, such as interacting with animals or observing the world's natural beauty. These moments did not erase the suffering but offered a brief reprieve, allowing him to regain the strength to keep going. The chapter explores the psychological benefits of focusing on small, positive experiences. Peterson explains that humans have a natural tendency to fixate on problems and dangers, a survival mechanism that can lead to stress and despair if left unchecked. By consciously redirecting attention to life's small joys, individuals can counterbalance this negativity and cultivate resilience. This practice does not deny the existence of suffering but provides a way to endure it with grace and hope. Peterson also discusses the importance of living in the present moment. Suffering often stems from dwelling on past regrets or worrying about future uncertainties. By focusing on the present, on the simple act of petting a cat or appreciating a moment of beauty, you can find relief from these burdens. This mindfulness allows you to connect with life as it is, rather than becoming consumed by what it was or what it might be. The chapter includes practical advice for incorporating this perspective into daily life. Peterson encourages readers to slow down and pay attention to the world around them. Notice the little things that bring joy or wonder, whether it's the sound of birdsong, the warmth of the sun, or the companionship of a pet. These moments may seem insignificant, but they have the power to ground you in the present and remind you of life's inherent value. Peterson also emphasizes the importance of gratitude in this process. Even during times of great suffering, there are aspects of life worth appreciating. Gratitude helps shift your focus from what is wrong to what is right, providing a counterweight to despair. By acknowledging and cherishing these small blessings, you cultivate a mindset of resilience and hope. The chapter concludes with a broader reflection on the nature of suffering and meaning. Peterson argues that while life is undeniably filled with pain, it is also filled with opportunities for beauty, connection, and growth. By seeking out and savoring these moments, you affirm the value of life and your ability to endure its challenges. This mindset not only helps you cope with personal struggles, but also enables you to support others in their journeys. Rule 12 is a poignant reminder of the power of small joys in a world that can often feel overwhelming. It encourages readers to find solace in the present moment, to notice the beauty that surrounds them, and to draw strength from life's simple pleasures. By doing so, they can navigate suffering with grace and continue to find meaning in their lives. Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life offers a profound and practical guide to navigating the complexities of human existence. Each rule, grounded in psychological insights, philosophical traditions, and personal experiences, addresses universal challenges such as suffering, responsibility, relationships, and the pursuit of meaning. Together, these principles encourage readers to confront life's difficulties with courage, humility, and resilience, while striving for personal growth and authenticity. The overarching message of the book is that life's suffering is inevitable, but it is not insurmountable. By taking responsibility for oneself, embracing truth, and seeking meaning over expedience, individuals can transform chaos into order and despair into purpose. Peterson emphasizes the importance of small, deliberate actions, standing tall, setting your house in order, or petting a cat on the street, that collectively lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. At its core, the book is not just a set of rules but a call to action. To live consciously, take ownership of your choices, and contribute positively to the world. While the path it outlines is challenging, it is also deeply rewarding. 12 Rules for Life reminds us that by facing life's struggles with integrity and purpose, we can cultivate a life rich in meaning, connection, and hope. Thanks for watching. I hope you found these insights from 12 Rules for Life as thought-provoking and inspiring as I did. Life is full of challenges, but with the right mindset and principles, we can navigate the chaos and find meaning in our journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more deep dives into powerful books like this one. Let me know in the comments which rule resonated with you the most, or if there's another book you'd like me to cover in a future video. Until next time, remember, small actions taken consistently can lead to big changes. Stay curious, keep learning, and most importantly, take responsibility for creating the life you want. See you in the next video.